Hey everybody, Ryan here at etrailer. Today on our 2007 Honda Pilot, we're going to be taking a look at and showing you how to install the Curt 4-way flat vehicle wiring harness. When it comes to these Pilots, they're really capable SUVs and you can do quite a few things with them actually, and that does include some towing, and whenever you're pulling a trailer down the road, you're going to want the lights to work. That way other people around you, kind of know what's going on. And not to mention, it's going to help keep you a little more safe and legal. And with that said, that's where this wiring kit's actually going to come into play. One of the cool things about it is you can actually keep it stored inside your Honda whenever you're not using it. And whenever you are ready to, it's super easy. So all you're going to have to do is open up your hatch, come to your storage compartment, and it's going to live inside of here. So whenever you're ready to hook up, you can simply just kind of drape this out and over your threshold. You want to avoid the latch if you can. I try to like to get the wire flat. And then you're just going to close your hatch. And it might seem kind of odd to do this, but it's perfectly fine. You're not going to hurt the wiring or the hatch. And so from there, you're able to hook up to your trailer and plug it in. And one thing I like about this setup is we have a really long wire here. And believe it or not, I used to have a Honda Pilot whenever I was pulling some trailers around. Every now and again, I'd get a trailer that kind of had some real short wiring. And having this extra length really comes in handy. You're able to reach out, plug it in, and get all of your signals. So if you look at the connector, it's that 4-way flat type connector, really common. A lot of trailers have this style of connector on them. And what this is going to do is provide us with our turn signals, our running lights, as well as our brake lights. So kind of got all of our bases covered there. As far as the construction quality goes, Curt's really come a long way. All the wiring is nice and thick, and everything just kind of feels good in your hand, and it's put together nicely. But other than that, if you were to ask me, would I use this wiring kit on my own car? Absolutely, would not hesitate. I definitely have some confidence in it. With that said though, as far as the installation goes, it doesn't really get much easier. Honda has made it very simple. Essentially all you're going to have to do is lift up a floor covering, pull off a small threshold panel, and the connector's right there, and this essentially just plugs right in. So really shouldn't run into any issues or take you a whole lot of time. But speaking of that, why don't we go ahead and hook it up together now. To begin our installation, we're going to be here at the back of our Honda, and we're going to need to open up the hatch because that's where the factory connector is located. So we'll get that opened up, and what we're going to do is just grab our floor covering there. We can hold that up, and then if we remove this threshold, we're going to be able to get to the connector a lot easier. So these are pretty straightforward actually. You essentially just kind of grab the corner and start to pull up on it, and it'll actually release. So we'll set that out of the way. And over here in this area, if you kind of pull back on this plastic deal, we're going to see that connector that's located right there. So now that we know where it is, we can grab our new harness and start to get everything plugged in. So from there, all we have to do is take our new connector in and simply get this plugged in. And you can only plug it in one way, so really can't mess it up here. But once that snaps into place, we kind of tuck that down. And then what we're going to do is grab the box, take the included sticky tape here, put that on. You want to make sure these surfaces are nice and clean, by the way. I already wiped them down with some rubbing alcohol. And if I can get the backing paper off here, try a different corner. We're simply just going to mount this. I'll go right down here where it's nice and flat. Kind of tuck our wiring in, just like that. So once that's done, you kind of tuck your wiring in the corner and leave it set in the storage compartment. And then really all that's left to do is simply just reinstall our rear threshold here. Now it is a good idea to test your wiring to make sure that it's working properly. So I'm using this small tester that plugs in, and I recommend something like this. That way you can bypass the trailer. If your trailer has any issues, we can kind of get around that and verify that our wiring is indeed working, if that makes sense. But with that said, we'll go ahead and try our left turn, our right turn, our brakes, and our running lights. And that'll finish up our look at and our installation of the Curt 4-way flat vehicle wiring harness on our 2007 Honda Pilot.